Stitch Cuties, it's Brittany here, and we are working on files 8 through 12 of our Garden Moments Finishing Kit, the box 13. So we are using our embroidery files to quilt all of the borders. It's super fun. So in this tutorial, we're going to be quilting all of our cloud borders. So all of the cloud fabric that you cut and all of the batting ready for those cloud borders is what we're going to be working with right now. So for file 8, you're going to use this file a total of 4 times to get the border pieces that you need. So I'm going to show you how we do it one time. So you have in the center of your block, you have the outline of what you're going to trim to, and then you have the inner, which is where you place your fusible batting, and you place it fusible side up because you want the batting to fuse with the fabric that we're about to put down. You do not want the fusible to fuse to your stabilizer because you're going to remove your stabilizer, right? So then put down your second piece. There we go. Those are centered nicely, and now just take your 7 by 12 piece of cloud fabric and plop it right on. Then take your iron and just quickly fuse. And you can see I'm just being really careful not to wiggle where I have everything placed. And then handy dandy tape. I'm just gonna put a little bit of tape in each corner to secure the fabric. And then when we put this on with our white thread, the machine is going to secure the fabric, give us that trim line again, so we have that on the front of the fabric. And it's also going to do a beautiful quilting of floral motifs that are actually pulled. You'll recognize them directly from the applique that's within your quilt. So it's Julie's original art turned into little flower segments that when pieced together make such a beautiful custom border for your quilt. So let's go on to the machine and see what stitches out. Oh my gosh, can we talk about how beautiful? So this is the exact art that was in your applique, and we pulled it into the borders. So you can see that on one side you have quilting that goes into your seam allowance. That is the side that we would recommend facing towards the inner part of your quilt so that it looks like this when they're pieced together. It's framing your quilt all the way around. It's also designed though, if you don't want to do that, you can alternate the blocks where this one goes that way and things like that. So there is no right or wrong, but we do have it going into the seam allowance on one side simply so it can look like it's framing your quilt. And again, it's the exact art motifs that are throughout your quilt. So really fun custom look on your quilting with this. And again, this is file 8 that just stitched. So your batting was 2 inches by 10¼ inches, and then you're trimming to 2½ inches by 10.75 inches so that you have your seam allowances as you piece your borders together. And you'll make this 4 times. Now we're gonna rehoop and move on to making the border pieces that go with file 9. Okay, so now you're working on file 9, and just like before, you have your 2 rectangles in the center of your hoop. This time your batting sizes are 2 inches by 9 inches. And again, all that's written in your pattern. You'll put your batting in fusible side up so that it fuses to your cloud fabric. And now you'll simply put your cloud fabric right on top, do a little press. There we go. And now we'll tape the corners into place. So for file 9 that we're working on now, you're going to repeat this file a total of 5 times as instructed in the pattern, and that's so you get the length of borders that you need. All right, so continue with the white thread on your machine and let's quilt our borders. Okay, so your file 9 is all stitched. Reminder, you're gonna repeat this file 5 times total. So you are going to trim to 2½ by 9½ inches for all of these. So let's rehoop and move on to file 10. Okay, for file 10, you have 2 rectangles, just like you do for the others. Your batting that you're putting in place is 2 inches by 9½ inches. Fusible side up, put it right in place. And then you're just gonna simply, like always, put your cloud right on top, like so. There we go. And do some pressing. So that fuses your fusible batting to your fabric. And now tape in place. So for file 10, you're gonna use this file a total of 4 times to get all of the border pieces that you need. So there we go. Let's put this on with white thread and your machine will do all your beautiful quilting for you. Okay, your file 10 is all done, looking beautiful, just like your other borders. So you are going to trim this one to 2.5 inches by 10 inches on both of them, just like instructed in the pattern. And you're making file 10 a total of 4 times. So now we're gonna rehoop and start working on file 11. Okay, so now we're working on file 11. We have our 2 rectangles. The batting that we're putting in place is 2 inches by 10 inches, fusible side up. I have a string from where my thread broke. There we go. So both of those in the center, and then we're gonna place our cloud right on top, like so. And we're gonna give it a press. So for file 11, we're only gonna make this file twice. So we're gonna use one of them in each border, I believe. It says in the pattern, so we just need to make how many it says, right? So now we're going to tape the 4 corners in place of file 11. And we'll continue with the white thread to complete all of our quilting. All right, so your file 11 is totally stitched out. A reminder, you're gonna make this one twice, and then you are going to trim it to 2.5 inches by 10.5 inches as instructed in your pattern. So now let's rehoop and start file 12, which is the last file that is part of the cloud border collection. Okay, so now we're working on file 12. You're gonna make this a total of 4 times. So the batting that we're putting in place right now is 2 inches by 10.5 inches. And I know y'all know the drill. Put your cloud fabric right on top. Easy as can be. Give it a press. And then we'll use the white thread on our machine to stitch everything out. And again, you're gonna make this one 4 times total. So let's get started. Okay, so your file 12 is all stitched out and looking beautiful, just like your other border pieces. You're gonna stitch this one a total of 4 times. And when you are done, you're gonna trim each of your border pieces down to 2.5 inches by 11 inches. So that's all you need to do with all of your cloud fabric embroidery files 8 through 12. After you're done with all that, you'll move on to the next video tutorial and you will make all of your super cute checkerboard borders.